everybody. Welcome. Thank you guys so much for being here today. I'm so excited to do this with you again. We had one of these last July and we had such a fun turnout. And so I asked the beautiful TDJ aficionados to join me again. So you're going to hear from Hannah, Melinda, Barbara, and Kelly later on in our episode and our engagements. What I want to do is I want to go through, let you know what's going to happen today, share a few snippets, a little sneak peek, and then I would love if you would say hello over in the chat box and just let me know who you are and where you're tuning in from, because I know we have people tuning in from all over. I think we even have somebody from France joining us, so always a treat. So first of all, what I want to just share is like, okay, who am I and what is this? So my name is Kimberly Wilson. I'm a psychotherapist here in private practice in Washington, D.C. And I have found, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about the psychology of fashion from a psychologist in a little bit as to why is this important? But I'll get to that in a moment. But the thing about it is like with this clothing line, it was initially called Tranquility, and I just renamed it last year. And, I've had this since '02 with the premise of like, okay, what can I wear that is just easy peasy? I can go do yoga in, I can go run errands in, and I just feel like I'm pulled together. So that was the impetus of like starting this line. Again, how many years is that? I always have to do the math. It's a while. Okay, '02 is a while. It's like 20 years, right? Anyway, so almost 20 years. Anyway, so it's locally sewn, made with eco-friendly fabrics, all this great stuff, right? But what I've noticed over the past few years is that people are kind of struggling with like, okay, how do I pull together pieces that are just, I can have a smaller closet since we really just wear 20% of what we own. And, I can make things like just really versatile and easy to get dressed in the morning. And I'll tell you a little bit about how to do that and why that's important. Okay. I also just want to mention that I do have a blog where I share quite a bit around this because the tenet of style is actually one of the 5 tenets of tranquility du jour. And tranquility du jour is this idea of how do we find tranquility in the everyday? And of course, we have to get dressed every day. I mean, you may be like, well, I don't know, I haven't had to during the pandemic, but you still had to put something on, even if it was your bathrobe or like joggers and a sweatshirt. And so, how do we actually use this as a way to find tranquility in our everyday? So I'm going to talk through that. All right, so let me just head on over and just want to share kind of what is the agenda. All right, so we're going to get centered in a moment because, a lot of you may be coming in from a pretty hectic morning, right? And so I want you to be able to kind of feel like grounded during our time together. I'm going to talk about the style tenet, right? Which is, as I mentioned a moment ago, it's one of the 5 Tranquility du jour tenets. And why is it important? What does it really mean? It's not just about clothing. I'm going to share some spring trends that I've found online that I think you may be interested in because they're doable things, not like just runway stuff. Like that's not really kind of our everyday lives, especially not now. So I'm going to share some of that. I'm going to give some tips too on how do we transition our winter wardrobe into spring, because my hope is that you can have a seasonless wardrobe of sorts, right? So you don't have to have all these different things in these different closets or whatever, especially since we're only wearing 20% of what we own. Then I'm also going to talk about, okay, why have I taken the clothing line all noir? I'll share that and a little bit around the fabrics that we have, some capsule wardrobe ideas. And I hope you've downloaded your workbook and that was sent out in the emails that went to you. Just download it, have that handy because I'm going to be sharing a lot of stuff with you and I want you to be able to take notes and follow along. And there's a lot of great tools in there, particularly around building this capsule wardrobe. Okay, what is a capsule wardrobe and how do we create our own? Then I'm going to show you these 8 pieces, which is the new TDJ capsule, and show you some ways to dress it up, dress it down. And you don't have to have this capsule to do that. You can do this with your own stuff, of course. My hope is that just to be able to show you of like, okay, can you take one basic dress and turn it into something that is great for the office, great for a play date, with your toddlers, and also good for the beach, right? So it's like, how can you take these pieces and do many things with them? Then you're going to hear from our TDJ aficionados, who I mentioned earlier, the lovely Melinda, Hannah, Kelly, and Barbara. And again, you heard from all these lovely ladies last July. And yeah, so that's the rundown. The thing I want to tell everybody too up front is you get 20% off the clothing line through the end of the month with code all caps TDJ style. Okay, so just want to remind you of that, and I'll mention it at the end, but just to make sure that you get a discount on everything that I'll be sharing. Also, if you have questions or comments or anything throughout, please feel free to put them over in the chat box. I may come back to them a bit later because I created a little deck for you. So I'm going to be walking you through that. And I can't see the chat at that time, but I'll circle back to see what questions you might have. Also, God bless technology, but if it freezes or internet goes down, just refresh. That often helps. And then I'll just be waiting for you here as technology comes back up. Again, that rarely happens, but technology, right? The last thing I want to mention is when we're done, I'm going to head over onto my website, KimberlyWilson.com, and there's a little pink icon in the lower right that is a chat box. And so any questions you guys might have, maybe you're like, oh, do I need the palazzo or do I need the perfect pant, whatever. I will help answer any of that, any kind of stylist type questions that may help you. Okay, so I just wanted to mention that. All right, so that is what is on our agenda. So I've got a lot to share with you in this hour, and I hope you're as excited as I am. And I want to say a big thank you too for taking time out of your beautiful Saturday in DC. It's gorgeous. We're starting to get all the pink blooms, and it's just such a delight. So to be here with you means a lot to me. And just a reminder, if you're going to miss any of it, no worries. I'm going to record it, and I'll be sure to share this with everyone. And then also, those of you watching the replay, thank you for being here. One last thing is be sure to grab something to drink. I'm drinking LaCroix in a beautiful glass. So please have something like that nearby. I want to make sure that you feel like you're able to practice self-care during our time together. Okay. All right, so let me head on over into the chat box just to see who's here. All right, you guys. Oh, and yes, the lovely Tim, you've probably seen, he's been so helpful. So he'll kind of share things in the chat box, and he'll be unmuting our lovely guests whenever they're going to come on. So just a heads up about that. So Kathleen, bonjour. Ileana from New York. Kathleen, hello, Kathleen from Newport Beach. Kathy, South Florida. Lexi in Detroit. Melinda, one of our speakers, Birds of DC. Carol, a few blocks north of TDJ Central. Yes, the world headquarters right here in my living room. We've got Gina from Pittsburgh, Jessica, Pia, Tim helping out from West Virginia. Let's see, we've got Zelda, hello from Israel. Oh my gosh, I think you won the prize today on being the furthest away. And Catherine, DC, Rebecca, Jackie, Linda, Melanie, oh my gosh. Okay, you guys are so awesome. It's nice to see everybody here. Jacinda and Kelly. And we have one from Spain. You guys are awesome. Thanks for being so global today. Yeah, such a treat to be with you all. All right, so I'm gonna do my slide deck. So let's just see. Wish me luck. I'm new to creating slide decks, and I'm incredibly proud of doing this, but I also kind of feel like it's a little clunky always. So let's just see how this goes. But I thought it would be helpful to have this for you guys, really to be able to, share. Okay, let me just see. To share, present. Look at that. Oh my gosh, it worked. It's just so many buttons to push. You guys who do this all the time are probably like, whatever. But I'm like oddly excited when this works. Okay, so, and everyone can see, right? You can see what's on the screen. Okay, so welcome again to the TDJ style pop-up. And if you want to just get cozy and comfortable, come to a comfortable seat. We're just going to do a moment of centering before we go any further. And now with this, I'm just coming to a comfortable seat, cross-legged in my chair. You can lie down, whatever you want. It'll just be a few moments, but I want you to get comfortable, okay? And then hands on thighs, palms facing down, and let's just close our eyes if you're comfortable with that and take a few deep breaths in and out of the nose. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 2, 3, 4. Again, inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. And bring one hand to your heart center. And just take a moment to tune into this moment together with a lovely group of ladies and Tim, to just kind of check in and think about how we want to show up this spring, what's important to us, how we can infuse our days and our dress with tranquility. And feel your hips in the chair, the warmth of your hand on your heart, the air on your skin, your clothing on your skin. And take a big inhale through your nose. Exhale through the mouth. And let the eyes flutter open. Awesome, everybody. So again, big welcome. All right, so the style tenet. Okay, why style and what is it? So as I mentioned at the beginning, it's so much more than just our clothing. Okay, so that's kind of why I chose this image, to see kind of the importance of our setting. So here is how I define the style tenet. We know that how we present ourselves affects how we feel and tells a story. So we choose a signature style that is personal and reflects who we are. Our personal and professional spaces are designed to nourish our spirits. We are moved by the arts, flowers, and simple pleasures. So to me, that's style, right? So it goes beyond, of course, our clothing, but it's like how we show up in the world and how we present ourselves to the world is style, right? And I'll give a little bit in a moment about why that's important from a psychological perspective, in how we feel. And you probably have noticed, whenever you have, like, a nice clean desk, or you have fresh flowers, or you have a candle going, or you have plants, if you have lamps, mirrors, whatever, all these sorts of things, how they just help enhance a space. And it's similar with regard to our bodies. Okay, now Carol Lynn Mayer, I want to mention her because she is the psychologist that I mentioned earlier. And I saw Carol's on here, and Carol, working at the APA, she actually did a wonderful interview with the APA that I found. And I think it's either a podcast or a video. But what's really interesting about her, she wrote this book called The Psychology of Fashion. So I'm going to share a couple quotes about, or that she's written, spoken, because I think they really tie into, okay, why does how we show up in the world make such a difference? So she says, we use fashion and clothing to shape and change our identity, to announce who we are. Okay, that's big, right? That's like pretty profound. The next quote she has that I really love, and again, her book, The Psychology of Fashion. And if you're curious, just Google her name and APA, because I was really excited about what I found, with her last night. So when we wear clothes that also make us feel good, our stress levels are further reduced. The benefits of this are both physical and psychological. All right, who knew? Right, and you probably notice this whenever you feel like pulled together. You're like, oh, like I just feel better. And It helps reduce stress, which makes sense, and physical and psychological benefits. So I thought you guys would appreciate that. Now, one other quote I want to share, and this is from our very own in Washington, D.C., Robin Given, and she's with the Post. And she actually just recently did an interview that I saw that was really great with Diane von Fostenberg, who has a new book out. So she says, when we go out into the community, our clothes allow us to have our say without ever opening our mouths. Fashion is a form of communication that is both intimate and aloof. Without even uttering a word, you stand behind your message because you are, in fact, wearing it. Isn't that beautiful? And this is an article and came out at the start of the pandemic last year when she was like, our clothes tell a story. What are they saying when we're just showing up in joggers, which, let's be honest, has been quite cozy for the past year. Okay, so that's kind of the why behind style as an important piece of how we show up in the world. So some of the spring trends that I found that, of course, seem doable, right? Workable. Some of the things are always like, I'm not sure how you would walk down the streets of Washington, D.C. in that. Maxi dresses, always a hit. And you've probably seen that. Even CNN.com had a whole thing on nap dresses, which is down a bit. And a lot of them were big, flowy maxi dresses, right? This thing about cozy and oversized and just like, luscious, right? Really, really fun. Maxi dresses, puffy sleeves. So even like shoulder pads, things like that. Mini skirts, which I thought was interesting. And I'm going to show how to create a mini skirt without actually having to buy a mini skirt, because we have a pencil skirt. And I'm like, you just hike it up and you have a mini skirt, right? For those of you who would like to wear a mini skirt, but you're like, I don't want to buy another piece of clothing. So what we want to do is think, how can we make our wardrobe super duper versatile? Wide leg pants, trousers, like big, like baggy drawstring, like this whole thing. I was like, oh my gosh, I love that. And the palazzo fits right into that. Okay, nap dresses, which I already mentioned, and that ties in with maxi dresses, but they're also like our boyfriend tea dress that Han is going to show later on today. And the great thing about anything that just feels cozy, that you're like, I could go out in this, but I could also like take a nap in it and be completely comfortable. And then, of course, we cannot forget our trend and important piece, not really a trend, it's just like something that we want to keep doing, which is the face mask, right? So that is what I found kind of overall spring trends. Okay, so with that, how do we take our winter stuff into spring? So it's all about thinking layers, boots with short dresses, and I'll show some ideas for this in a little bit. Adding a sweatshirt and long sleeves and sweaters over your sleeveless dresses. So, all those things that you have, like, boyfriend cardigan, which we do, the blazer, your sweatshirts, even like a heavy coat over, like a bare-legged kind of dress and little sandals. It's just like, because it's chilly in the mornings, it's going to be that way for a while. So how do we like keep that winter stuff going, but also begin to get this peak of spring? Skinny scarves are great, especially, we have so many scarves from winter typically. It's like, okay, how do we maybe bring the thinner ones, the lighter ones with us into this new season? And then I'll show this in a moment too, but adding tights and socks with sandals. So I love open-toed shoes, but my feet are always cold. They're like ice right now even. And so having tights or socks with these open-toed sandals allows us to start wearing those now. And again, I'll give examples for this. I'll show you in a moment. Okay, so this is in your workbook, and this is basically, it's a little bit about the story behind TDJ. That's me as a little girl whenever I went hiking, and that is what I would wear. I don't know why nobody fixed my bonnet. It's apparently on backwards. Bell bottoms, and I did hike with a purse, and I honestly still hike with a purse and get made fun of constantly. So anyway, this is kind of the roots of where it all began. And then also, I love this quote, and I have to give credit to Miss Carol who came up with this: is style your tranquility every day, right? So when I took the clothing line from the name Tranquility to TDJ, I was like, how do we tie in this idea of the TDJ kind of um, persona of living tranquility in the everyday? Well, we style it in the everyday. So again, big kudos, props to Carol. I should have like dash Carol. Okay, and then another kind of slogan that I've used for probably 10 plus years is wear noir, live pink. Okay, so what does that mean? So I included this photo as an example of like, okay, maybe, for you, it may not be noir. It might just be like you're very much a blue girl, like you're always wearing blue. Okay, great. So it's like you have this sort of like, this is what I always wear, but I live this. And I love pink because I think it's playful, it's feminine, it's soft, right? So for you, what might that mean? So I just like to give a little like story behind like, what does wear noir, live pink mean? All right, so why noir? So I have a list for you. This is all in your workbook, so I won't go through it fully, but just a few things is like, it's clique, it's chic, classic, and iconic, okay? I just love black. I will say though, in grad school, this was 10 years ago, somebody came up to me at the end of the semester and they was like, I just have to ask, like, are you in mourning? I was like, well, I kind of am, because my grandmother had passed away. But I was like, but no, I just like black. But it's funny. I was like, what a random question. She'd been thinking this probably all semester and was like, okay, I'm just going to ask it at the end when I won't see her again afterwards. So, it's funny how it can be, associated with that or goth, which is great too. But yet it's also, if you go to a Zen center, they're all in black. Ballet, mainly black, and ballet pink, right? New York, Paris, it's just like black is so, as I said, iconic, but it just is also, it's just so easy. It dresses up and it dresses down. I love this too. I really love this quote by Georgia O'Keeffe. There's something about black you feel hidden away in it. And that is 100% kind of like what I notice, because if I put on color, like, I've got like pink coats and things like that, like I love them, but I feel exposed. Black, I feel like I very much just like, almost like I'm a background, and it feels comforting, right? So just interesting. I love that quote by George O'Keeffe. Okay, so fabrics. I like to share this because sometimes people are like, what's the difference between the few fabrics? Okay, so our typical fabric that you're going to find, and you have the option usually, except for times where I'm like, no, this piece has to be made in this or it just won't fit right. So it's typically noir, which is like the top I have on, the 2-in-1 top, which Kelly is going to talk about in a little bit. And it's 95% organic bamboo, 5% spandex. Okay, now thicker noir, this is things like the blazer, a lot of our more structured pants that comes in. So it's organic bamboo, but plus organic cotton. So the black is not as vibrant, but it's a heavier fabric, and then 10% spandex. So that's like the Capri leggings, the blazer, things like that. Okay, fleece, which is so fun. It just feels so good. 70% organic bamboo, 25% organic cotton, and then 5% spandex. Okay, what's the difference? It just has that fleecy texture inside. And it may feel like, oh, that's a winter fabric. Oh no, I love wearing it year round because it just is so, again, soft and comforting. All right, capsule wardrobe. What is that? So it's a collection of essential and versatile pieces. And you've probably seen this. A lot of people will do, like a 10-piece capsule wardrobe, or the 33-piece capsule wardrobe. I had Courtney is her name, Courtney Carver, on the show, gosh, years ago, maybe 10 years ago, talking about her 33 project, which was all about having 33 pieces. So typically a capsule wardrobe is say 10. Madam Chic, you may remember her. She's been on the show a few times, and she's got a book, and I think she even has a TED Talk where she talks about a 10-piece capsule wardrobe. So 10 to 40 is oftentimes what I see. Okay, why would you want to limit to 10 to 40 pieces? And by the way, when I say 10 to 40, it does not typically include footwear, outerwear, lingerie, activewear. This is like kind of your closet bones, your staples. Okay, benefits. Helps with decision fatigue. Honey, that is a real thing, right? You probably notice, like, if you start your day and you're spending a lot of time thinking about what I'm going to wear, what am I going to eat, as the day goes on, it's like a muscle that gets fatigued. And then by the end of the day, it can be quite challenging to do kind of like bigger picture work because we've used up that muscle on these smaller tasks. So that's why it's often encouraged. Create a morning routine, something you do every single day. You have the same breakfast, you wear the same clothes. It's just like easy peasy. You don't have to think about it. Crystallizes your personal style. Okay, like that's great, because if I were to ask you, what is your personal style? Do you have an answer to that? And no judgment, but just asking, like, how would I describe my personal style? Right? There's classic, there's bohemian, there's like modern, there's so many different types and styles, and there's eclectic, right? Where you're like, it's a mix of everything. Um, it also helps you save time and money, right? So that you're not like, oh, well, let me buy this and see how it fits in with my other items. And then you realize, I don't have anything to wear with that. Why did I buy it? Well, it was on sale. And then ideally, too, all your items will work together. Okay, so how do we create a capsule wardrobe? So I like to start with number one, which is always kind of a challenge, but to clear and review your closet. So what I tend to do, and I'm thinking of maybe doing this today, because I haven't done it in probably a year. I take everything out of my closet, it all goes onto the bed, and then I put things back one by one if I'm going to keep them, or if they need a new home, I donate them, things along those lines. So clear and review your closet and ask yourself, okay, am I wearing this regularly? Am I going to get back into this after the pandemic? And what I mean by that, like, say you are going back to an office at some point. Okay, well, you don't want to get rid of those clothes just because you haven't worn them in a year. You haven't been in the office for a year, potentially, right? So, it's like thinking of like, okay, what are the pieces that are staples I know I'm going to want to wear, maybe even if I haven't touched them for a while because I've been living in joggers, right? But then just looking at it and seeing what can you narrow down to like these main pieces. Also, in Year of Tranquility, which I've got that book somewhere handy. I don't see it right now, but in Year of Tranquility, which is my latest book, on page 80, I have a whole thing on how to clear out your closet. So a kind of step by step for those of you who have it. And also, I want to just mention too, everyone in my Pass Holder Collective, mwah, a big welcome. And we've been going through style all month long. So this is kind of like a crescendo for them of everything we've been talking about and working with. Okay, create the foundation. So, for me, I kind of think of that as like, okay, what's my color? Of course, for me, it's black. Some people, it's more beiges or grays or soft colors or whatever. And also the foundation, meaning, okay, what are my main pieces that I want to have? And again, I'll show you some ideas behind that in a moment. Highlighting versatility. Okay, this piece can really just be worn one way. Am I okay with that? I'm like, maybe because I really love it. But ideally, we want pieces that can be worn in multiple ways or easily dressed up and down. And then enhance with accessories, which I'll show you some ideas for that because, right, like accessories can really dress an item up or down. Okay, so these are in your workbook. And I just wanted to kind of show them as a reminder to take a peek. So you've got ways to create a capsule, and then you've got space to list out and write your own. Because what I like to do is think of like, okay, here are my main, say 10 pieces. Okay, well, here's some ways to mix and match them. I'll give an example of that in a moment. And here are my accessories. And below I have a list of many ideas of accessories, right? I mean, they range from brooches to sunglasses to glasses to bags, hats, earrings, necklaces, you name it, right? There's so many ways to accessorize. Scarves are huge to dress up or down, and they're super practical because how often do you go into a place that's like overly air conditioned and you're miserable, right? Because you're so cold. So I always will carry a scarf. All right, highlight versatility. So that's the piece really that makes a capsule a capsule. So I wanted to give you an example. If I were to take these 5 pieces, which you'll see in the center of this image, and you've got this in your workbook, these are the different looks that were created by it. I actually created 10 looks with it, but we only got 8 onto the page. But as you see, it's like nicely broken out. And in the lower right, that is my uniform. That is what I wear every day. I've got it on now. And then, these other pieces include a maxi skirt dress, the palazzo pant, and the duster wrap. And you see how many outfits came out of it, and they're all quite different. So it's just kind of fun to think like, okay, how can I take my main pieces, dress them up or down, and create new looks? All right, so this is where I'm going to end the slide deck and show you the 8-piece capsule and some additional ways to wear. I also have a couple surprises. I've got a few spring samples to show you, and then I also have just another little surprise, okay? So the 8-piece capsule includes the 2-in-1 fitted top I'm wearing. The reason it's called 2-in-1, the neckline, you can turn it around and you've got a low back, right? So I could wear that side in the front. All the 2-in-1s, they come with like a built-in bralette also. So it's just, and it's on both sides. So just great to turn it around because then you have 2 tops in 1 piece. Okay, the Capri Legging, again, live in nuts, the Palazzo Pant, the long sleeve wrap tunic, the 3/4 wrap dress, which I love in this example. Again, this is in your workbook. It's paired with pants. The boyfriend tank, maxi skirt dress. She has it as a dress. Pull it down, you have a long skirt. And then the Shavasana Throw. Patricia, you'll love this. Somebody who has joined us today, this is like her favorite piece. And the Shavasana Throw can be worn a lot of ways, which again, I will show you in a moment. All right, so let me get out of here. Stop the share. Awesome. Okay, so let me just hit chat box, see if there's anything where you're like, oh my gosh, what about this? And see if I can answer that for you before I head over to show. Oh, hiking with a purse. Yes, yes. Switch to a fanny pack. I love it. Okay. Okay, great. So what I'm going to do is head on over and show you the 8-piece capsule. Okay. And show you the different ways to wear. All right. So let's start with the boyfriend tank. Okay. So the boyfriend tank, very simple. It's not really designed to be 2-in-1, but I guess you really could kind of turn it around because it doesn't have the built-in bralette. But what I love about this piece is it's flowy, right? Because some people are like, oh, the 2-in-1 fitted, it's too fitted, right? It's too clingy. Well, this is nice and flowy. And my former model actually would often wear this as a dress. She was a DJ, right? So, and for me, it hits just a little above the knee. Just depending on your height, you may not be able to wear it as a dress, but I kind of love that idea. And then it's also super cute, just like knotted, right? You just take it and knot it, and then it becomes a little more fitted, at least at the waist. So love that piece again, because you can really do a few things with it. And I just love the flowy nature. Okay, this is a 3/4 wrap dress, and Melinda's gonna talk about this in a little bit. But what's great about this is, again, you've got a little black dress. Okay, you can dress it down with tennis shoes. You can dress it up with clogs. You can also tie it in different ways, which Melinda will share. But it works as a great, like, okay, here's my little black dress. And you probably know, but wrap dresses are just like quite flattering because they'll come in at the waist. And I just think they flatter all bodies. And you'll see the tie is probably what, like 4 inches. And so that is nice because then it like just pulls you in a way that feels quite comforting. All right, so that's the 3/4 wrap dress. And again, because you can easily dress it up or down, I think it's a wonderful staple. Okay, here's the piece I can't live without. I live in it. I'm wearing it. And as I, mentioned, this gives it the 2-in-1, meaning that it can be worn 2 different ways. And again, has that built-in bralette. I make them quite long. Again, former model would wear this as a dress. I make all the pieces quite long because it's much easier to cut and trim or hem if you need to. But also, I just love the long. That's another thing from a spring trend perspective is it's oversized stuff, right? So like the sleeves here, and I find myself just sometimes like just doing that. Like if I'm a little chilly or whatever, again, quite comforting, but you can just also pull it up. Okay, long sleeve wrap tunic, which Barbara is going to show us many ways to wear this. And she's like the queen of this piece. But this piece, it's a lot of fabric and it also is swaddling. You can take it and tie it, do all these different things. But if you're traveling, this is really a great staple. I love, love, love that piece. I think you always need a wrap. So we've got a wrap dress, we've got a wrap top. Okay, the Capri legging, of course, because obsessed with these. I mean, it's just a legging. I don't know why I'm so obsessed with these, but this comes in the thicker noir. And, again, because you want that structure, that means it's got the organic cotton. And it's just super duper cozy. And we have one client who likes to get a higher rise in it. And that's fine. If you're like, I want 2 more inches of a rise, no problem. Every piece is custom made for your order. So it's easy to do. Or if you're super tall or super short and you want it adjusted, or you're inseam, easy to do. All right, the Palazzo Pant. Okay, you may be like, okay, how many ways can you wear a pant? Well, the thing about the Palazzo Pant, it's quite flowy, as you see, but I would often even wear this to practice yoga in. And you take it, or you're on the beach and you're walking along the beach and it's getting wet. So you're like, well, you take it and then you like tie the ends, tie the sides of it. And then, it can kind of like come up to here and it's knotted. So it just shows like you can do different things. You're like, oh, I would never have thought of that. But these pants we've had for maybe 12 years and they're just so great, so comfy, and they dress up nicely. So again, think of kind of wanting to dress up. It's like, okay, if you want to be super casual, you've got your tennis shoes, but if you want to dress it up, then you add again the dress of your shoe or the boot. You do the boot and then you tie it. So different ways to wear this little piece. Okay, so now we've got the maxi skirt dress. Okay, very long, as you can see. And it's great. You can't tell, but it goes to the floor for me. And this is the waistband. Or you pull it up and then you've got a pretty long dress also. So this is great because, again, you can have a sleeveless dress for a night out. And you can also have a long skirt. And then you could put even like the boyfriend tank with it and then knot it, right? So super duper cute. Okay, so the Shavasana Throw. So what is the Shavasana Throw? It is just a big piece of fabric. And, for those of you who, what's Shavasana? Okay, Shavasana is relaxation. It's our relaxation time in yoga. And, with this, I just wanted a piece where it's like you could have a little blanket. You could also use it for a picnic, I guess, right? So, but it's also a scarf. So you would take it, wrap it around. I even, if I've been out and it's misting, then I'll put it over my head. I feel like this is very like Jackie O, right? And then glasses, sunglasses. It also works as a beach sarong, or if you just want to wrap skirt anytime, not at the beach, you want to dream of the beach, you just wrap it around and then you tie it, and you've got a little skirt, all from this freaking piece of fabric, right? And then another thing, and on the website, I've got all the different ways to wear. But another thing is just to like kind of throwing it over shoulder. And then you could take something like a skinny scarf, which, or a skinny belt, which looks really cute too with the long sleeve wrap tunic to tie it in. But then you just like, voila. This is just something I got for like a few dollars online. This little, but you know, it's just like a cute way to also to break up all the black, right? So this is kind of my idea on the 8-piece wardrobe. Now with that, I wanted to share, okay, so say we've got a beautiful kind of spring dress. This is our slip dress, but we're like, it's cold outside still. Okay, well, can you then take maybe like the sweatshirt and add it over, right? So that you can still wear your spring-ish, like summery dress year round, but then you can also add a sweatshirt. And as I mentioned earlier, socks, like aren't these adorable, these little leopard socks with clogs, right? Or say you've got I'm using my ballet bar over here as an additional, who knew ballet bars could be so versatile, as an additional clothing hanger. So here's sleeveless swing tunic. Okay, love this dress, love, love, love. So you can again add your tall boots with it and put that year round, because for winter, of course, you could add a sweatshirt. Again here, the belt, or even our little leopard print scarf could be a cute belt, or around your hair, or around your neck. All right, so again, thinking from a versatility angle. Let's see if there's anything else I wanted to show versatile. Oh, so this piece. So I randomly had my seamstress. I was like, you know what? I want to try the crop pant in fleece. And so crop pant is just like the Palazzo, just like it, but maybe about 6 inches shorter. And add pockets. Okay, this is so amazing. I love this pant. It's so cozy. So I've been able to kind of live in this, you know, and it's like as cozy as a jogger, but it also looks just a little fancier, right? And again, this comes in the fleece. You could do it in whatever. You can ask for pockets or not, because there are a few pants that come with pockets, but if you're like, you want to personalize it, which Miss Barbara does beautifully with all of her TDJ pieces, you can. Okay. All right, so that is, okay, one other piece. So this is the Parfait Pant. Now this pant we've had for quite a while. This one does come with pockets, like automatically, right? I think Hannah loves this pant. Now, what I had my seamstress do for this was to shorten it by, I think we shortened about 4 inches. And I did it in fleece. So it typically comes in the thicker noir or fleece. But I wanted, again, kind of a jogger pants, right? Because sweatpants are super hot right now. I don't know if you guys have seen, but like loungewear, activewear is like, it's like so all the rage. So I was like, well, what can I do to just like make it, you know, just like a little joggery, but also where I could wear this seeing a client, right? So again, I just shortened it because I'm a little shorter and a lot of our pants are made a bit longer. And I wanted it to kind of hit more at the Capri legging kind of length rather than all the way down. Okay, so I just wanted to show that. That's Parfait Pant. Okay, so let me show you a few spring samples. All right, so first of all, I mentioned puffy sleeves, right, being a thing. So little puffy sleeve sweatshirt. Isn't that adorable? And I couldn't decide between puffy sleeve sweatshirt or puffy sleeve shift dress. So I had my seamstress do both as samples. So let me know which ones you like, or if you want both. And they're made in the fleece. Again, the fleece is, you know, I just love the fleece because it's super cozy, but of course this could be done in thicker noir. It wouldn't be done in the plain noir because that's more of the drapey, flowy fabric. But aren't those cute? Love the puffy sleeve. All right. And then the one other sample that I have to show you guys is the maxi dress made out of the boyfriend tank pattern. and has side slits. So you kind of can't probably see that very well. But love this because again, not fitted, super flowy. Think of like, okay, I want to dress this up. All right, you add like pearls or long black necklace, you know, fun little shoes like the clogs. Or you want to dress it down, you add the tennis shoes and maybe like a little belt or flip-flops, you know, for the beach. So this again is a piece and that's a sample. So I haven't like 100% decided on it, but I thought it was super fun. I just wanted to show you guys a few new pieces. All right. Now the next little surprise, one other surprise before I hand it over to our lovely aficionados. We have just a few yards left of a few colors. So I wanted to let you guys know in case you're like, oh my God, if I never have heather gray again, I don't know what I'll do, right? So we have a few yards left of heather gray, ballet pink, orchid, celadon green, peach, sky, and rose. So this is a deeper pink. So if you guys want any of these, what you would do is order whatever piece you want, and in the notes section, write in all caps so we're sure to see it, I want rose, or you know, something along those lines. And until we run out of this, we can do that for you, okay? So what this is called, by the way, is dead stock, which is a really yucky name, but for, you know, making sure you're using all of your fabric. Just because we've gone noir doesn't mean that we don't have a few yards left of these pieces or these colors. And I would say, honestly, probably it varies, but I would say we have anywhere from 5 yards to 25 yards of these colors. Okay, so just so you know, if you want them, you'll want to grab them. And again, heather, ballet, orchid, celadon, peach, sky, and rose. And if you're like, I can't remember that, just say green, orange, whatever, we'll figure it out. All right, so again, I just wanted to share that in case you guys are color people and you're sad to be missing it. All right, so that is it from my show and tell perspective. The one last thing too, of course, is, you know, for over the knee socks, I do love over the knee socks to create a full leg with regard to an open toe shoe, doing this over my Capri legging. And then I've got like a full kind of full coverage, you know, for chillier days. And, you know, then from even this outfit, then I can throw over this and nobody knows I've got socks on, right? It looks like I've got like on tights or something like that, which is great. But, you know, I want to wear this every day. So I have to figure out ways to make that work. And that's where over the knee socks have come in quite handy. All righty. Oh, and of course, now we cannot forget our face masks. And these are made by Mama Wilson. We've got leopard and damask available. All right, I think that's it from my show and tell. All right, so I will head on over and let me just see if you guys had any questions, and then I'm going to hand it over. Love your rose, orchid. How far down past the knee does it go? It goes to the floor. I'm 5'4", yeah. Great. Thank you, Tim, for putting in all those colors. You're on it. Worst co-host ever. You did good. Maxi with slits, here I come. I'm so glad you like it. Awesome. Okay, I'll go back through this in a moment, but in the interim, I want to hand it over to our lovely ladies. Okay, so you are going to hear first from the beautiful Hannah. And before Tim unmutes her, I just want to share a bit about who she is. Oh, sizing. Yeah, there's a whole thing on sizing. And sizing goes from extra small to extra large. And I have models that show what an extra small, medium, large, extra large, what that looks like and what their measurements are. Okay, and that's all over on the website. If you go to KimberlyWilson.com/TDJ, you'll find it because at the bottom it has fabrics and sizing and it's all on the same page. And if you're like, but I'm an extra large, okay, we will make it for you. You just tell me what you want, all right? That's the beauty of working with an amazing seamstress who's local and is like really good at creating things. All right. Hannah. Hannah helps emerging wellness brands get clear on their goals and creates comprehensive marketing plans to help reach them. She's obsessed with cats, traveling, hopefully soon, Hannah, and gardening. She's had a flair from a young age and now loves wearing comfort with style with the TDJ line. Find her on Instagram, Hannah, Mongiat. All right, Hannah.
Thanks, Kimberly. So I'm in the boyfriend tee dress, and I'm obsessed with everything TDJ, but I'm going to show you this today. So it is a great nap dress or lounging dress. I had pockets added to it, which is super fun. And then today I have it with the Palazzo Pants, which I love for lounging around the house or even in the backyard in the warmer months. And then I can dress it up or down. So in the summer, I'll oftentimes pair it with wedges or just flat sandals and maybe some fun jewelry, some fun earrings or a statement necklace for dressing up. And then in the colder months, I'll wear it with tights and maybe some booties. And if I'm particularly chilly, I like to layer it with the long sleeve wrap tunic. And it's just very comfy, very cozy, but yet you feel put together. And I don't work in an office, but what I think could be done with it for an office environment is I think it could easily be layered with the blazer and some heels or wedges, some tights, and really have a nice professional look.
Beautiful, thank you. Yeah, I love you had the pockets added. And just so you know, that's completely optional. Some people love it. Like now I want pockets and everything. But some people are like, no, I don't want the added fabric. So just know it's always an option. And usually when you order it, I always just check in to see if you need it. All right, Miss Barbara. Okay, she is like Miss TDJ. Okay, she's a Tranquilista who's been wearing TDJ since '07, a freaking long time, and personalizing her TDJ daybook since 2014. When she's not whipping up herbal beauty products in her apothecary, she stays busy designing large-scale knowledge solutions for global audiences, including weeks of global dialogues each year. She's been a guest on the podcast twice and back to share how to frame your face in TDJ and make noir work best on camera.
Thank you, Kimberly. I think you can hear me, right? Okay, so the cameras that we're using on our phones and whatever have a really hard time with black, but we all love black because we're on the show with you. And the best thing you can do is what Hannah did, which is have a not white wall. The cameras really can't deal with a black and white. So it doesn't take much. If painting your wall is not possible, use a scarf that is low contrast. So a scarf that matches your skin on your face as much as possible. This will make it easier for the camera to deal with the black in your face. So those are my two go-tos. Of course, you should have a good lamp, and of course, you should have good light coming in. But I can't say enough about if you're gonna wear black on the camera and you wanna look good, you know, you can put all the makeup on and have the best lamp, but if you're not handling the contrast, you're never gonna look your best. The other thing I wanna talk about is how wonderful this piece is. So this is the wrap tunic. I have it in the heavier noir. I also have it in the 95.5, and I'm getting it in fleece. I love this piece, and I never wear it the way you're supposed to. So the way you're supposed to is the sleeves like this, right? And the triangle bottom. I don't do that. I put it on upside down, but it's really more like backward. So instead of putting it on my back, I put it forward like this. And then I put it over my head like this. And I kind of have this hoodie. And now I'm ready for the camera. It doesn't matter if I have any jewelry on, I just have a really nice neckline. And against a not white wall, I'm in my yoga room. Normally I would be against a gray or a cream wall. I just have a nice top look for that. And in addition, because it's a little shorter, because I have it on upside down, I can wear it under my jacket, which is the TDJ blazer, and it doesn't show underneath. So now if I'm traveling, I have this really fabulous look that is very slim. So that's why I think everybody should have at least one of these and wear it upside down. Thanks, Kimberly.
Thank you. I love that. She taught me how to do that. I never thought of that. So I love it, Barbara. Thank you so much. Okay, next up is Miss Kelly. So she's been a TDJ devotee since 2006 when she started doing yoga at Tranquil Space, now a yoga teacher, as well as a health and career coach. She's been teaching virtual yoga throughout the pandemic, and her classes are fabulous. To make the best of it, she also got a Peloton and adopted the cutest beagle ever named Watson. Kelly has also enjoyed home cooking with Green Chef and lives a mostly veggie life. You can find her at Kelly Tobin Offerings for virtual yoga, wellness, and overall inspiration. Kelly.
Thank you, Kimberly. Hi, ladies and gentlemen. I'm really excited to share some of my favorite Tranquility pieces. Just like Hannah, I love the Palazzo Pants, and that's what I have on. So let me back up. I have them on with heels, and I have this more for kind of a going out look with a blazer. And the 2-in-1, my absolute favorite. I have it in the heather gray, and I'm really excited that there's some more colors left because I'm definitely going to buy some of the color pieces. I love that there's a deep kind of open back, so it looks cool either like to see your back for kind of sexy date night, or you know, with your yoga straps in the back. So I'm usually, as you said in my bio, walking the dog, teaching yoga, or working in corporate America. So this outfit works for all three because all I do is change the shoes when I'm not on the date, right? Walk the dog and take off the necklace and take off the blazer. So just ready to go for 3 different activities all in one day. That often happens multiple times. So yeah, that's all from me. But I think that, you know, this piece is super great to layer under a blazer because it doesn't like ruffle up or bunch up like blouses do. I always have that issue with like button up blouses and them you just feeling all bunched up in too many layers. But all of the Tranquility pieces just feel so great layered, and I often wear the wraps and the cardi shawls and all of that too. So that's my look, and thank you for making all this amazing stuff for us. I can't wait to buy more.
Thank you, Kelly. Yeah, it's beautiful. And that pant is the crop pant. Just if people are like, because the palazzo goes to the floor, she's got the crop on, which is darling. It's okay, Kelly. It's the same thing. It's just a little shorter. But it's great to show that kind of with the blazer because you can show how like even a pant that might seem a little more casual can totally be dressed up. And the crop pant is so great for spring and summer. So thank you, Kelly. All right. Last but not least is the gorgeous model who you've seen a lot on the website, and Melinda. She revels in all things creative while being kind to the earth. You'll find her dabbling in all manner of creative endeavors, surrounded by fabrics, paper, paint, and glue. You most often find her wielding a camera, shopping thrift and vintage stores, digging in the dirt in her garden. Her Instagram is beautiful with all of the garden, stirring a pot on the stove, or choreographing a dance, all while dressed comfortably and chic in her TDJ. All right, take it away, Miss Melinda.
Hi, everybody. It's so good to be together, even if we're all so far apart. I am wearing the 3/4 sleeve wrap dress, and you can wear this a million ways. So today I was out walking the dog, so I had on a denim jacket. So for ease, I'm wearing it the way you could wear it in the summer. It's not quite warm enough for me to wear this, but I'm wearing it over a tank top. So I've tucked in the one sleeve in the back. So if you can do a bandeau or something like that, you can actually go without, or even a nice racer back bra that you want to expose. You can wear it that way. In my case, I just wanted a pop of color, and but to be able to still have a chic look. So another way that you can wear this is then to recover that sleeve and make this can be turned into a sort of a draped top, and you can tie these sleeves up and you can, you know, adjust it so that it covers or shows as much. And in this case, I would, you know, want to be highlighting some of the color, but I can adjust this so that you can, you know, have full coverage over it and tie it up, and then expose your back and tie it. So it's worn backwards and just tied so that you get sort of your halter style. So, and Kimberly likes to wear this completely backwards, so she often wears it backwards. So, and for me, my everyday is to be able to wear, and I'm wearing this today over jeans and just a, you know, like I said, just a top. But for most days, this is how I wear it. I wear it over jeans or leggings in the cooler months, and I wear it to the office. I wear it to garden. I wear it because it's very comfortable. All of the clothes are very washable and very comfortable and very flattering for all shapes. And I wear a size large, and I have worn extra large in her sizing as well in previous years, and they are flattering, like she says, for all shapes and sizes. So if you're one of the bigger girls, definitely if you give it measurements, make straps wider for you. If you wear a wider bra, which I do, they'll accommodate that, so you still feel like you don't have your bra strap showing all the time, which is always something that I find with other clothes off the rack. But I live in my TDJ all the time. It's these are my favorite clothes, absolutely. So thank you, Kimberly, for letting us share a little bit of how we live in, you make it easy for us to live comfortably and in style.
Thank you so much. I would never have thought of the one shoulder. Oh my gosh. And the halter top. I'm like, you guys are genius. I love it. Thank you so much. And, you know, that concludes our programming. And thank you again, Hannah, Kelly, Barbara, and Melinda for your beautiful sharing. And just, you know, a couple reminders that you can shop the line through the end of the month and save 20% with code TDJ Style, all caps. I would love to know too, if you have any takeaways or any kind of, you know, thoughts, please feel free to put those over in the chat box. I'm also going to be heading over to the website chat box in just a moment to answer any style questions you might have. Reminder, if you want one of the remaining colors, put that in the notes section. You know, say you order the 2-in-1 chemise, you're like, need it in noir or need it in orchid or whatever. Also, I will, oh, one last thing is next Saturday is if you would like to join me, I'm doing a 3-hour virtual retreat where we will do yoga, we will do mindfulness, we will do a lot of reflection, and we'll do some art journaling of thinking, how do we emerge post-pandemic into kind of like what is going to be unfolding, because there's a lot of anxiety about like getting back out into the world. You're like, do I hug again? You know, it's like things like that. So we'll be kind of talking through of like how to ease anxiety as we begin to transition into hopefully this brand new phase. All right, you guys, thank you so much for being here. Let me just see. Thank you, Ms. Kelly. Crop Palazzo Pants, also looking to get a couple color pieces. Great, love the fleece, so comfy. Thank you, Miss Pia. Yeah, I'm so glad that this was helpful, you guys. I hope that it helps inspire you to think, okay, what are my top 10 pieces? How can I dress them up? How can I dress them down? And you know, how can I present myself in a way that helps me feel good about how I'm showing up in the world? Good and cozy. Comfy is key. All right, you guys, thank you so much for being here. And again, this is recorded, so I'll be sure to send out the replay, and I'll head over into the chat box. Again, it's the pink lower right button on my website. And if you guys have any questions, please know I am happy to answer them there. All right, thank you guys so much for being here. Have a wonderful, wonderful weekend.